I agree. Yeah. Um, okay. Final thoughts. I want to move on to our main story. This is a story that I've been very excited to talk about. Final thoughts before we move on.
Well, I just want to say, sick of shitty gov. It's shocking to see how the diddler went down so hard and fast, yet still no Epstein clients charged with child. Wonder why? That's because the reason why is because all the people that are involved with Diddy are famous people that have no real connection with true power of government.
Mm.
While Epstein, there's going to be tons of people that are oil tycoons. There's going to be a bunch of Saudi oil princes. They talked about it the other day on Timcast, I believe, where they talk about how there's going to be a lot of people where it's not illegal in their country, but they are scared of the backlash, and they're worried a lot of these Saudi oil princes, when this comes out, it's going to destroy a lot of relations with the US, and they're just going to start pumping oil, and they're going to just try
So
and destroy the US dollar.
it's
Wow.
funny you commented that, shitty gov. That was actually the primary story of the show today. Yeah, no, the whole reason we're not, I've said this before too, to Melton's point. He was reiterating what was talked about on Timcast. And yeah, the whole reason we're not getting the Epstein files, the whole reason we're not figuring out who's in the little black book and everything else, is because it affects both sides of the political aisle. It affects very powerful people, high up people in these powerful countries, companies, political government, just government in general. It would hit the top of the top people, and of course they're not going to snitch each other out, or and then this is the point we were talking about when I did my call in a couple weeks ago, because I brought this up with Tim, because we're all talking about Epstein lately. What would have caused Epstein to actually kill himself? I think there's a lot of things that could have caused him to actually do it. I don't know if he did or not, but now we have Kash Patel and Dan Bongino again reiterating. I brought this up because in a congressional hearing, Kash Patel reiterated that he killed himself. He did in fact kill himself. So I've been talking about this. Did he or did he not? We now have Kash Patel and Dan Bongino saying he did. And I'm going to play some clips here of Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. But let me just get your guys' thoughts. Like, do you think Epstein, is there a possibility, is there a chance out in the void that Epstein could have killed himself?
Yes.
Yes, there's a chance.
I think it's a slim chance, but there's a chance.
Yes.
Yeah, I
My
think
my my thought on it is more of he probably did it with the assistance of somebody else, but he probably is like, all right, no, I'm not doing this, off me. Or
I
they
agree.
have the body double theory where they're like, yeah, it was another poor schlub. So,
Well,
and he's off hiding somewhere.
I do like the idea of the Epstein didn't kill himself, like quote, being a way of saying Epstein is still alive.
Yeah.
It's not a way of saying that Epstein.
I love all the memes of Epstein reading the Epstein didn't kill himself memes from his military bunker.
so so let's be honest here. This is something that involves so many people that are in the higher up. This involves Republicans, Democrats, communists, Muslims, Jews, Christians. This involves
Conservatives, like everyone.
socialists.
Everybody.
This might involve MAGA people, bro. This is
100% it does.
this is where they all turn their heads together, and they all put the thumbs up, and they know exactly what they're gonna do here. They're gonna let the people that don't like to get their hands dirty and don't like other people getting their hands dirty are gonna close their eyes. They're gonna let the Clintons go in and do what the Clintons do.
Leak the files to James O'Keefe. Say I don't know who did it, and let the world burn.
But no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna do that. The
Someone.
world, the
And
world,
Tim brings up a good point though. Like the Epstein stuff could be to the point where like so many people are implicated that it starts actual wars. You know what I mean?
Well, see, here's the thing: is not a lot of people are tying in the fact that Epstein and Diddy are very closely related because they do have overlapping clients, and so the lower hanging fruit are gonna get picked first. The people who are gonna be easily like, oh, hey, check this out, and hide it from the higher ups, type thing. They're gonna definitely try to shield the crown princes and other dignitaries as much as possible. The fact that Prince Andrew got thrown under the bus is huge.
Well, that's because
But
he had so many
people,
victims.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but they had so much evidence against him, and he slipped up. Um, but they also don't sit there and stop to think about all of them are tied to Hugh Hefner. All this stuff goes back even further.
It goes back further than Hugh. It goes.
Yeah,
It
well,
goes.
yeah, but Hugh taught a lot of the newer guys what to do. Hugh Hefner and Diddy had an underground tunnel linking their houses together.
Wow.
Well, so here's the difference that I see with the Diddy. Both are equally. I think Epstein's a little bit more wrong because that is more of children,
It's on a bigger scale.
It's child trafficking. While I think Diddy was more of drugging older women. Yeah.
No, Diddy had younger girls. Diddy had older girls. Diddy was running with Epstein.
Well,
Literally, they were tied together.
it was the difference that I see is that I think the Epstein stuff is so much worse in a way because he was legitimately trafficking these women, and
Diddy
on
was
the
helping.
Diddy was definitely helping. It's not they're both they both deserve life in prison, maybe lethal injection, firing squad possibly. Purpose misses as well. We'll get 2 runs in with both of them. It's the it's the
I've already gone over on Outworld what I would like to see happen to all of these deplorable people. My stance has always been I don't call for violence, I call for justice. I want everybody to know what these horrible monsters have done. And then once we have all come to the conclusion, yes, these people have done these horrible crimes, then they have forfeited the rest of their lives, and now they will be donated to science. So we will do all of our medical experimentations on them. They are free game. And then once they are no longer with us, they are cadavers.
yeah. What did
Continuing.
what did oh my gosh, it was our vaccine dude that we putting all the Democrats were putting on the Jesus candles. They got
Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, Fauci. You know how Fauci was doing those tests on beagles with flesh-eating flies?
Yep.
I think I found
test
some.
on him.
I think I found some new subjects for that.
I don't know. You
exactly.
guys ever hear about the maximum pain punishments they were doing on monkeys?
No.
Yeah. And
dude,
all
so
of
much
those
worse than
tests,
beagles.
all of those tests would be done on them because they deserve it.
I think
Yeah.
Fauci deserves it, bro.
Yeah, no, just
So
for
that's-
reference, Melted, that test I just mentioned, it was done on monkeys, maximum pain. It was nicknamed maximum pain, and
That
literally
would
the
make
whole
me cry.
purpose of the experiment was to see how much pain they could inflict on something
Before it dies.
before it died.
Wow.
So they would try
Those
all
tests
different
would
kinds of
be tried.
methods to inflict the maximum amount of pain before it would die.
Well, the thing is we all have so much different pain tolerances and everything. Like how
They take the mean. They run the same experiment on at least 10 different ones.
Why
and
do we
then they
need the
take
data?
mean.
Hang on, wait. Why do we need the data?
it's obvious. It's pretty obvious what it's
Because
for.
what it is they're trying to see how much physical strain the body can withstand before it gives. And there are many, many different reasons why that knowledge is important.
Have you ever watched the show Blacklist?
Yes.
So there's a scene in that show where they have a old torture dude come into they have a dude, the hero of that show has a guy come in and torture a bad dude, and in it they pump him full of air, and
Yep.
they make the mistake of accidentally pumping him full of air too much and blowing up his blood vessels, and he dies.
Yep.
And it's the goal is definitely trying to figure out how far you can turn the knob on torture to get information out of people. That's definitely what it is.
So I do want to play this clip because we're veering off a little bit. So but I think we're having a great conversation. I just want to play this clip because I played the clip from Kash Patel in the congressional hearing, but this is him again in an interview next to Dan Bongino. Again, both of them saying Epstein killed himself. Let's see it.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work. You said.
So, a lot of people are pointing out that Dan Bongino looks a little stressed. It is a word you could say. I mean, he looks like he's been awake for like 36 hours, and then he went to this interview. I don't know.
I think he looks guilty.
Think he looks guilty? Because I have this other clip that could add context to this. So I was going to play that clip regardless, but then I also saw this clip shared by Luke Rudowski on his comment. This is Dan Bongino 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, and then him now. Okay, so let's watch this clip, and then I'll get your guys' thoughts.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee-deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I think he knows what the ramifications are. He knows what will happen if he says no, Epstein did not kill himself. He's got to push. There's going to be over this stuff. If what comes out is true, it's going to be massive global conflict.
It'll be one of the biggest scandals in history.
Huge changing of power. Huge power vacuums left all over the place. It'll be hell on earth, and I'm all for it.
Well, the fact that our government
TJ, you're muted.
You're muted, TJ.
Yeah, the fact that our government has already hidden the fact that they killed a sitting president to overthrow the presidency, I'm not surprised that they're threatening these guys and telling them, no, you can't come out and say it, because if you do, then literally everybody and anybody that you love will be gone. I can totally see that happening. I could see them also going in balls to the wall going, there's something here, and then it's a big nothing burger because they're not being presented with the proper information either. So who knows?
Real quick, there are two different sides to this that we need to make sure that we separate. There's the whole Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, and there's the client list and everything that was actually happening. And those are two separate, we'll say, conspiracies, right? And so I feel like in the 2023 clip, Bongino's sitting there saying, we need to push these people to release the files. And in the other one, he's talking about the Epstein killing himself. He's not in any way referencing the files.
Yeah.
And so what I'm kind of curious on is, now that these people are sworn into these positions, are they able to present information to the American people that is not, if they don't have the evidence at this time, are they allowed to say anything other than the official narrative? What is the legal ramification of that?
I don't know exactly what the legal ramifications would be.
Because just real quick, as far as I can see, he's saying based on the information that we have available and that has been presented to us, this is the only conclusion. Now, that doesn't mean that that's actually what happened or that other evidence doesn't exist somewhere out there. It's just saying that we have to give you our answer based on the information that we have.
If the information is classified, they are by law not allowed to disclose it. And they have specific talking points and specific narratives to dance around whether the information is classified or not. And it's just part of their narrative that they have to run with. And honestly, just the way that Dan and Cash both are answering specific questions, that leads me to believe that there's something that they cannot tell us as of yet, and they're trying to tiptoe as kindly through the tulips as they can.
I want to see what they saw. Like the guest on Timcast was saying, if they're because they're coming out and they're saying definitively, it's not like, oh, they have to toe the line. I disagree with that. They're outright saying, no, he killed himself. But
He said, "I've seen the file."
Again, difference between the files and him killing himself.
Well, that's what I mean, though. I want to see the evidence. Like, what is causing them to say this? If they're saying it so definitively, I want to see what they saw.
Wait, real quick. In your Twitch chat, ban that dude and report him.
I did. I get them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very annoying. Should be auto banned, but whatever.
That's why they do that space for the .com.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's fine.
Okay.
Just someone trying to get view bots. Anyway.
But here's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Imagine though. I can understand imagine you're head of that. You're Dan Bongino right now, and you're Kash Patel, and you come into this position that you honestly probably in 2013 never thought you'd be in, or 2023 you never thought you'd be in, and now you're being told, like, at the time you're like, we need to release this information, and now you're being told by Donald Trump or some people higher up than you, if this stuff leaks, this is possibly going to kill millions of people. This is possibly going to start like Armageddon. We need to hide this stuff. This is for the greater good of the future of every single country in the world. This is something that can change. Like, I can understand that fear, but you cannot live with that fear. The truth will set us free.
What's better? What's better in that situation? Let's go around the panel on that. Let's say the contents of this investigation would lead to World War III guaranteed, like nuclear World War III. Do you, as the person in charge of these files, do you or do you not release them, knowing that World War III will start? And if you do not release them, World War III will not start. There will not be a chance of World War III. Just based on the files solely, would you or would you not release them?
I would release it.
I would.
I have a different perspective because my grandfather was head of security for all three army bases up here growing up. So I look at it as a security measure. If it's not declassified, then you cannot release it.
I would say that
there are ways to go about the justice for it, but you can't release it.
You have to. It has to be released. No one is going to believe any of this stuff if these files are not released and shown.
We need full transparency. Yeah,
full transparency from our federal government. We need it now.
And so my logic is, you prepare for all of the contingencies of World War III, and you release them. And when you start to see, those people kind of just about to push the button, you follow your contingency plan to stop them from pushing the button.
So yeah, you're saying do it, but prepare.
yeah, just make sure that World War III is going to be as minimally damaging as possible. Like, you can't just throw it out there and be like, oh, wait, what? World War III is happening? No, you have to be fully prepared for all of the backlash that's going to happen. And you take care of the backlash. Like, you let the cards fall where they may, tell the truth and let the cards fall where they may.
Well, if you've, I don't know about you guys, one of my favorite movies of all time is Wanted. It may be because the main character is my same name, but that movie stuck a chord with me with the line, kill one, save 1,000.
Yeah.
The whole point of that movie, kill one person. We have this magical thread machine that gives us names, and you kill that one person, we'll save thousands. In the end of that movie, you find out that the person that was weaving those threads was lying the whole time. Mm-hmm. That dude was the dude that was reading the thread. One day his name popped up and he hid that. And guess what? That just shows you these people in power will do anything and everything to keep themselves in power.
Yep.
Your name comes up, dude, and it's literally like Wanted, dude. Your name comes up on that list. You're gonna hide it.
Minority Report.
You're gonna hide it. It's like Minority Report.
If I was Dan and Cash, I would ruin my career over this. Like
I would absolutely.
You release it and get it out into the public, And if you get locked up for the rest of your life, so be it. If you go on the run and have to hide in Russia, like who was the like Snowden had to or whatever, you go and
Yeah,
do
but
that. But like this is
what's the benefit of doing that and blowing up the whole entire investigation when they're trying to
who's getting
actually go
charged?
after
okay. That's
some people?
that's a valid point because I've allowed justification for them taking longer than most people would like. I've allowed the justification that they are building cases against all of these people and they can't just like throw it all out there and then then the jury is tainted or what have you.
I disagree.
This
I
is
disagree wholeheartedly.
wholeheartedly. This is not a 20-person jury we're talking about here. This jury is the world. This jury is going to be the world, and this is
It
what
is,
we
but
need
you
to straight. When we see these names, these people need to be rid of their power. We need to take their power away.
that's
They
the
need to be thrown in
problem.
prison
Is
by the
you've
people.
got to be able to prove that
Arrests
it's
need to come
people.
first.
Wait,
and
so
then
hang on,
you'll-
wait, pause. So the notion that we need to prove we've had all the evidence. We've had it for years.
But that's the thing. Some of the
FBI's
evidence has been destroyed.
Okay, well,
Some of it's
and
been
we're giving. Wait,
tainted.
hang on. So that's the whole point, right? The longer we take to prosecute these people and bring the charges to them, the longer they have to destroy more evidence. So we need to bring those charges. You can continue the investigation while the charges are being brought. It's completely ridiculous. I've heard so many people say this at this point. Oh, they're just gathering all the evidence. Yeah, you can do that after you charge the person too. You could do that mid-trial. You can do that after you've put them in prison. You can continue the investigation. The investigation never has to end. And because you're waiting to actually physically go and stop these people, they have plenty of time. You're giving them more than enough time to go and destroy the evidence that you could be finding.
But there's a problem with that because there are multiple people involved, not just one person. So
yeah, and
you've got 5
FBI
and
has
6 and
10,000
7
hours of videos.
horrible people with a lot of money at their disposal. If you go after one and not the rest of them are going to scatter like rats.
Yep.
You need to be able to trap all of them in a bucket and get them all at once. So that's why I'm torn because I completely and utterly am on your side. Let's go after these little rat bastards, but I don't want any of them slipping through the net.
So to your point, though, Nora, is if they're wealthy individuals, right, and they try to flee, what you do then is because we're the United States, you force every other country on the planet to immediately extradite them upon finding them.
But what if they're part of that other country? What if
then
they
you go to
are
war
the
with that
government
country.
of that other country?
Yeah.
That's the issue. Is they're dignitaries from all over.
I'm telling you.
So
I'm telling you, if they can't go to Russia. They're not. Oh, see you later. They can't go. They can't go to Russia. I'm telling you, one of the people that I believe is not on these lists. As much, I really have no hate for Putin. As much as I don't agree with a lot of things to do, Putin is definitely not one of these people on the list. I bet you, if Putin had access to these files, every single one of these motherfuckers would be in jail. Every single one of these motherfuckers would be in jail.
Yeah,
it would be all of them. Putin would throw them all in jail.
I get where Nora's coming from. Like, obviously, if it is this widespread,
get off the webcam, man. Get off the webcam.
Oh, your audio.
Get off the webcam.
There we go. Yeah.
There you are.
Is that the way I sound?
No, you sound fine.
No.
I don't know why that's my default. That's so stupid. Anyway, but exactly to what Melton's saying and what Nora's saying, let's say it is this widespread thing where there's let's say it's hundreds of high up level people, if not more. Obviously we don't want them scattering to the wind, but that's when you name these people, you bring the evidence that you have, and you round up the ones you can, and the ones that scatter, you hunt them down. So I don't think waiting. I don't think there's any proper justification for waiting. While I understand the point of view and the perspective, I completely disagree. I don't think there's any reason to wait at this point. We've waited long enough.
Because I personally don't want an innocent person getting wrapped up into it. Like, we were just watching Warrior in the server, and there's a scene where a Chinaman attacks the mayor. But he attacks the mayor because he's defending the mayor's wife that the mayor is now strangulating. So he's trying to protect the wife, and he ends up killing the mayor. And, they arrest him, and a mob of vigilantes come out and hang him. Even though that he was protecting somebody, they're like, no, you killed somebody. And so they hung him up. And I'm like, okay, well, what if an innocent person gets caught up in this mix?
How about this, Nora? How about we start with just the people that are on the 10,000 hours of tapes that they have, because we know that Epstein kept blackmail on people. How about we just start with them?
Let's think here.
Because again, we've got to be able to nail him for every single crime.
No.
You get them on what you can.
We get them on what you can.
Well, that's the thing is, what if
think
they
about
can
the mafia?
start-
We didn't get the mafia and all the people they murdered. We got them on like tax shit.
Yeah, we got them on tax evasion,
because
bro.
they tried. You know that
That's what I mean,
times
though.
that
Like,
they actually like broke into Gotti's place to tap it, right?
But that's what I mean. Like, you go after what you can go after.
You go after what you can go after. You have to go after what you can.
But because of all those investigations and the way that they did it, they had to change the way that they're doing things now. It's on our laws.
And
Nora,
then
how many more years, Nora, until you're of the same perspective of Melted and I? How many more years do you have to wait?
No, that's the thing is, I am for getting all of these bastards. I want them to be like I said, I'm not calling for violence. I call for justice. Every single one of these people hurt innocence. They took away an innocent person. They took away a childhood. I am not okay with what they have done. I want to make sure that what they are going to jail for and being experimented on is for every single thing that they have done.
But okay.
But I don't want a victim to be released. I don't want to take a chance of one of these little bastards getting out and being able to do it again.
But here's the thing. If
getting out on a technicality is going to be worse.
I know it's just not realistic.
So let's say if one of these people on the Epstein list messed with five girls, but they can only confirm 3, would you say no? We have to figure out the other 5 so they can stay out of jail.
No, I would want them to go after the 3, but the problem is that a lot of these victims will not come forward.
They will if they're in
jail. Let's say it's all on video.
If they won't come forward, they have a hard time with the case. This is what they're having issues with the Diddy case. Is they have all these victims. They know about it, but none of them want to come forward.
I've seen plenty of Diddy stuff where women are coming forward about Diddy. I've seen plenty of stuff.
But that's the thing. Now that he's in trial, they're all coming back.
Let's get these people on trial. That's what we're
get the trials going, get the evidence released.
But that's the problem is that a lot of these victims are pulling back because they're scared they're being
That's
threatened.
because we're not doing anything, Nora.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying. You're saying
but we
let's
have
not
a process.
do anything.
Melted, we have a process that we have to go
the process
through by
doesn't
law.
work. We know this process
I
doesn't
know,
work.
but again, until that system is fixed, this is what we've got.
I don't agree. I think we need to go after them now.
What you're saying is not to fix the system. But you have not said anything about fixing the system. You're saying that we're using the system now. So let's get
because
these
this is
mother
what the
effers in
system
jail.
in place is. If we had a perfect system in place, none of this would matter.
But we don't have a perfect system.
We
That's
don't
why
have
that's
a
why I'm
perfect
asking.
system.
Wait, so Nora, you didn't answer though. So how many more years do we have to wait?
I don't.
Well, how many more years would you wait? How many more years can you wait?
I'll take that question real quick. I will say that if by the 4th of July we don't have any arrests or we don't have any information being released, I will condemn the efforts of Bongino and Kash.
I will say
a little bit more time.
I won't give them till the 4th of July. I will give them what Kash said. I will give them 2 weeks.
Well, he said arrest by summer.
Well, they said that they're going to be releasing information in about 2 weeks.
I want to see arrest in 2 weeks.
That information is, I'm reserving judgment until then.
I want to see arrest in 2 weeks. You have the info.
Here's a question for Melted. If we could make some arrests right now and release a bunch of information right now and maybe get 50% of the people who are, involved, we can get them locked up. But that's all we're going to get. Or we wait 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, we wait until 4th of July and then we get like 95% at least of these people locked up. Which option would you prefer?
I'd rather
wait a little bit longer to make sure that everybody gets locked up.
We get the 50% and then we hunt down the rest. Dude.
No, but in this hypothetical, I'm saying that because of the way that we went about it or whatever, there's some reason why
I'm still going. It's not a realistic hypothetical. I would still go with melted.
What
I would still go
info?
with melted
What
answer.
info? Do we not remember that Luke Gronkowski went onto the island literally like a couple days after the Epstein stuff, and there were no agents there trying to get any fucking info or anything? There was no. They did not care. They do all this evidence that they're saying like we need to find. It's gone. It's what we have is what we have, guys. No FBI agents were on that island. No federal investigation was going on there. Luke Gronkowski rode a boat up to there with no interference at all. No one was on that island.
Sure.
If that information, if we're looking for evidence and stuff, it's gone, guys. This is what we've got now.
But you still have to sift through all of the information that you do have.
There's no way we haven't. This has been going on for how many years now?
Oh, no, there is plenty of ways because the government is very good about getting stuff and hiding it. They're very, very good about getting stuff and throwing it in the closet and saying, "Oh, we don't know where it went."
And now we have an administration that's going to actually look at the evidence instead of the old administration that's going to bury it all. You can't say that it's been going on for years when they just
wait. No. So I'm with Melted on this. This has been 5 years. We've had access to every single one of his belongings. There's no excuse that you could give me to convince me that we don't have evidence to arrest.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
But who's been in office for the last 4 years? I'm
Doesn't
sorry.
matter.
If you've got hundreds of thousands
Actually,
of documents...
wait, hang on. No, Nora, this is not a political thing. Again, this is not a who's in office, I don't fucking care. Donald Trump was in office when he got arrested, so there's no difference.
No difference.
Again, so again, Epstein, the whole point of Epstein's operation was to gather information and gather blackmail on people. Once Epstein died or once he got arrested, the government had access to all of that. So to say that we don't... Wait, hang on, pause. To say that we do not have evidence for at least more than half of the perpetrators is utterly ludicrous, and I just I reject it on its face. The government is controlled. No, but the government is controlled by these pedophiles. We know they're in the government. So to say that they're not behind the scenes making sure this doesn't get out is ridiculous, and that's why we need to go after them now, today.
But that's the problem, is that they are the ones pulling the strings. And if they're pulling the strings, they're the ones that are sweeping it under the rug. And if they're sweeping it under the rug, it is a lot easier for them to hide their crimes. So now that we have somebody who's going in and wiping all of this out, it's going to make it a lot easier to go, hey, these are the assholes who were hiding all this stuff. Let's get them out now. And why do you think there was such a mass exodus of people? Because they were fleeing the sinking ship on their end. They're like, oh no, we're going to get caught. And now they're getting people in like us that are like, okay, show us this information. Show me the facts. And they're digging. And honestly, I've seen firsthand what they do with paperwork that they don't want to know where it goes. They hide it in other files that are completely irrelevant to the case. They misplace the paperwork.
Nora, I'm getting confused. You're talking about the government misplacing things, but you're saying allow them time to continue investigating so they can misplace things?
But because we've got different people in place.
It's not all the different people.
Okay,
there are people
all right,
in there
Melted,
that are
hold on a minute. Hold
on. Let her finish.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm saying is we've had bad people in place. You've got to get rid of the cancer first, right? Yes, we're cleaning house. In order to do that, we have good people who are going in who actually give a shit, who want to fix it. So let the people who are actually wanting to fix it, give them time to fix it. Give them time to go against these bad people who were supposedly saying, oh no, we've been doing this for years, and they haven't.
And I think that's what this whole conversation is about the timeline. It's like you guys are saying we want it now. We're saying we want it when it's ready. You guys don't believe that. Hold on. You guys don't believe that it's ever going to be ready because it hasn't happened in the time frame that you think that it should happen in.
No, I don't think it's going to happen because there's still cancer in the government, and I don't think it's ever going to get rid of that. And I think they're still hiding files. And I think the longer this goes on, the more shit's going to get hidden. They need to get this shit out now. It needs to come out now.
Again, I just want to reiterate, guys, we're talking about something that happened 5 years ago. This is 5 years Jeffrey Epstein was arrested, and there's no one that has been charged. It's ridiculous to say that, oh, just keep waiting, just keep waiting. Yeah, we've been waiting this 5 years. We've been waiting for 5 years. Who else can get arrested and have wait 5 years for charges to be brought against him when it's something so blatant and heinous. They literally have 10,000 hours of video. Pam Bondi talked about it. They're going through 10,000 hours of video. Maybe the last administration or maybe the Trump administration decided not to go through it for whatever reason, and now they're just getting around to it. But still, that's ridiculous.
Tyler, do me a favor and look up how long it took the federal government to prosecute John Gotti after they had him on racketeering charges.
But did they hold him in prison?
Start to finish, it was over 7 years.
And they held him in prison that whole time.
Yeah, and they had Epstein in prison, but he never got his day in court because he died.
But we're talking about what about all these other people on video?
All these other people that they have.
But again, they were only going after Epstein. And now they've got to build a case to put all these other people in jail. There are processes that have to be met in order for it to be legal. They just can't swoop somebody up and just go, "Oh, we're arresting you and throwing you in for no reason."
We're not saying
you
to do that. We're saying that. Hang on, we're not saying to do that.
Never said that.
We're saying that Epstein was gathering blackmail on people that would be evidence to their crimes. What we're saying is take that stuff that Epstein already had gathered up nice and neat for us and go after these people. And if we don't have all the evidence, cool, don't charge them, just keep them in prison.
That information was not obtained legally.
What?
They did raid. That was legal.
The raid was legal, but some of the methods that Epstein was doing was illegal. And so if the U.S. government uses it, there are loopholes that these little rat bastards are going to use in other countries.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, not at all. That's not how that works. Blackmail can 100% be used against you in a crime. It can if someone's blackmailing you, and then you're like, this person's blackmailing me. What are they blackmailing you for? And you say that, you are going to be arrested for that crime.
Gotcha.
That's kind of the whole point. These people don't go to the authorities, by the way, is because if they go to the authorities and be like, "Help, this person's blackmailing me," they're gonna be like, "Oh, what are they blackmailing you with?" And it's gonna be like, "Oh, a crime." So you're both screwed. That's why they do it. It's like, hey, you have dirt on me, I have dirt on you.
Processes that they have to follow.
And we're talking about the people that are committing these crimes, right? We're all in agreement that they're the ones that do these processes. So we're waiting for them to fix the process. I feel like we're just going in circles.
Yeah, well, it's just like we need to fix the process, but we need to also wait longer time for them to set up this process. But we need to change the process. So when the process gets changed, none of the shit that we did for the work for this process we have now is going to matter because we're going to switch processes anyway to get these guys. So it's not going to matter anyway. We just need to do this shit now. And everyone forgets about Ghislaine Maxwell. She's in jail for 20 years. What's she in jail for? Trafficking children.
She was trafficking to nobody.
Apparently to nobody. Yeah, apparently they have all this evidence of her trafficking women, but to who? Dude, there's no one else arrested in this for who she's trafficking these women to. What?
Yep.
Like, what are we talking about here?
I want to get final thoughts from everybody. Maybe you guys could talk about this more on Outworld Live. I'm going to be sending everybody over there. I would love to continue the conversation. Maybe I could have you guys on again in the future, but I do have to get ready for work, unfortunately. I want to go around.
Get ready for Outworld.
Yeah, and you got to get ready for Outworld. So Nora, we'll send you out first because I know you got to get ready for Joey. Final thoughts on the show today or on the topic, whatever you want to say, share. Floor is yours.
Go outside, touch the grass, and hug your loved ones because there are evil people in the world, and evil will always hide in the shadows. So stay in the light.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Nora. Thanks for coming on. It was great having you on. I appreciated the debate. That was probably the most intense debate I've had on the show so far, so that was fun.
And first time Nora and I think, have been on stream anywhere together, so I appreciate hanging out with you. It was fun.
There you go. Cool.
Yep.
All right, well, Nora, go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you on Outworld.
Bye.
Well, I'll be watching from the audience, though, so goodbye. And then Melted, final thoughts.
Oh yeah, I think the truth will set us free, and if it burns this shit down, bro, we will rebuild from the ashes. We will rebuild even stronger. That's what we have to, like a phoenix from the ashes, brother.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. We need to do this shit now. We need to get it done fast and quick. It needs to be done right. I agree, but it shouldn't be taking 15 years for this shit to happen. It can't. It cannot take 15 years. This shit needs to go through now.
Yep, I agree.
Just a quick counter to that real quick. We have to think of it as the Bongino and Kash era and of the FBI and not the corrupt era that took place all before. That's.
I like to be hopeful, TJ, but one of the first major statements they come out and say as soon as getting into the position is saying that Epstein did kill himself. So I'm not so hopeful.
How long was this interview? Like, I don't think that they came out specifically just to make this statement.
This was actually because of the statement, because Kash recently said, that's why I was talking about this. Kash recently said in a congressional hearing, when asked about when they're getting the Epstein stuff released, he said Epstein killed himself and the files will be released.
Admittedly, I will say that it does feel weird to hear them say those words.
Absolutely.
The only caveat that I have for that is that I'm not sure that they are allowed to express their personal views in the positions that they hold. They have to stick to what the evidence says, and hopefully they can prove themselves wrong, because I don't think they believe what they're saying. They're just forced to say it, and that's different than a gun being to their head. That is a litigious process that requires them to parrot the narrative, which is disgusting, and I hate it. Yeah. But I think that they're just saying that based on the evidence that we have, this is the only conclusion. But real quick, final thoughts on the whole arrests are coming kind of concept. I'll say that nine women can't make a baby in a month. Things take time to happen. And like I said, 4th of July, if there's no arrests, no information release, I will condemn them. But I am trying to give these men the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm naive.
2 weeks.
But, I mean, hey, let's have this conversation again in 2 weeks and kind of see where we're at, see what two looks like. You know,
I'm down. We can have that conversation again for sure. Because again, I'm glad that we had it was a little bit of a 2v2 there as TJ and Nora melted in. Because I mean,
I was keeping my mouth shut and Nora was taking the brunt of it.
Nora was taking the brunt of it, and Nora did good there. I wasn't trying to talk over Nora, but I think Nora did have a little bit of a delay on her mic. I'm not sure, so I was trying to give her room to speak because I did like the disagreement, but that was good overall. I definitely think we should come back in maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, and revisit the topic.
I do struggle with letting people talk because I feel, I know where I feel like when I hear people talk, I know where they're going with things, and I talk over people. And I guess a lot of other people don't understand where other people are going with things when they talk, and I
have the same issue.
I like when someone starts talking about things I know a lot of information about. I know exactly where they're going with it.
Their thought process. You know what information they have and they're sharing. Yeah.
The way that Tyler just interrupted, melted right now.
Because we both know what we're talking. We both know what we're saying.
We know exactly. Me and Tyler are pretty like with our other content, bro, we interrupt the shit out of each other all the time while we're talking because we know exactly what we're about to say. Yeah.
Well, we have to if we want to get a word in edgewise. I mean, I could talk a lot. You could talk a lot. TJ's sometimes sitting there in the wing like, oh, Tyler interrupted me again. Like, I'm sorry, TJ.
I mean, count the eye rolls that I give because there's so many times where I'm just like, okay, I guess I don't get to speak today. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you gotta talk over him. Say, fuck you, Tyler. This is my stream.
I need the better mic so I could hear him.
Yeah, put that phone whenever you want to talk, bro. Just put that phone up to your mouth, bro. just
anyway, I want to go. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video today. If you thought that was a great video, great live stream, great whatever you were watching, make sure you hit that like, thumbs up, whatever you're watching. Hit that follow, subscribe, and if you really want to support me, you could always share the video and comment down below. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you follow on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Thank you, and peace out.